Hello, gang. Making 2 short videos for your amendments test. Buckle up. Here we go. The First Amendment are the 5 freedoms: the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, the freedom to assemble, and the freedom to petition. So you can petition for water bottles. You're not getting them. Now, again, these all have to be so long as you do not cause harm unto someone else. So you can say whatever you want, but you cannot try to cause harm unto someone. Just the way it is. You can say all the mean stuff you want, but that's pretty mean, so I wouldn't if I were you. The Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. It says keep and bear arms. So the right to bear arms or gun ownership or to create a militia. And remember, the time that was a big deal because people were hunting back then, and people needed to defend themselves against Native Americans and whatnot. So it's not just like, we need AK-47s. It's more to it than that. The Third Amendment means no quartering of troops. So no troops can be quartered in one's home during times of peace without the consent of the owner. So you can't just put troops in people's homes. That's just the way it is. Can't do it. The Fourth Amendment are the rights of unreasonable searches and seizures without probable cause. So you have the right, the police can't search you or seize anything. Seize means taking anything from you, from your car, from your stuff, from your home, from whatever, unless they have a warrant. So a warrant tells the police what they're looking for, where they're looking for it, etc. But if they find something that's illegal, they can use that against you. And there needs to be probable cause. You can't just get pulled over and be like, we'd like to search your car. Why? We just want to search your car. They have to have probable cause. If you have 78 Bud Light cans in the front seat, you're probably going to get searched. The Fifth Amendment, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be held to give you to a court of law. You have the right to an attorney if you talk to a lawyer. These are your Miranda rights. Remember, you have the right to remain silent. You don't have to self-incriminate. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, they'll give you one. An attorney means a lawyer. You have to be given the rights to defend yourself. Now, if you say something, that's held against you in a court of law. And so every time someone's getting arrested, they have to be read their Miranda rights. The Fifth Amendment, Miranda rights, the rights of the accused citizens. That's the big concept. The rights of the accused citizens. You are innocent until proven guilty. Unless you're me, you're probably guilty of the crime. Oh yeah, I said that out loud. Shoot. So the Miranda rights, right to remain silent. Anything you say, moving on. The Sixth Amendment means you have the right to a speedy and fair trial. A fair trial means that you have an impartial jury. You can't know the judge. You can't know the jury. You have to know who is pressing charges against you. You have to know the witness list. You have to know these things. It has to be fair. You can't just walk in and be like, I know the jury. They're all angry at me. Guilty. No, it has to be impartial. So jury duty, you have to be impartial. You have to be unbiased, right? That's kind of how that goes. The Seventh Amendment says you need to have a trial by jury no matter what. Because you can't just go in there and the judge go, guilty, and then all of a sudden you're gone. Oh, that'd be horrible. So everyone has the right to a trial by jury. Well, what about in traffic court? That's different. You're arguing against a speeding ticket you got in Harrisonburg, Virginia in 2004 when you were driving 58 in a 45, whatever, trial by jury. The Eighth Amendment, you might remember this, we talked about the death penalty. It says no cruel or unusual punishment or excessive bail. The punishment must fit the crime. If you get a speeding ticket, bail's not $1.9 million. That's excessive. If you murder someone, you're not getting 100 hours of community service. That's ridiculous. That's an unusual punishment. Some people look at the death penalty and think the death penalty is cruel or unusual. Depends on how you look at it. Remember we talked about that in class? The punishment must fit the crime. That's all. The Ninth Amendment, it talks about the rights that are given to the people. People are entitled to rights that are not necessarily specified or stated in the Constitution. There's no way that the Constitution could have said every single right that the people have. So we have to have rights for the times when things happen. So, they didn't know about 9/11. They don't know about indoor plumbing procedures. They would have killed for indoor plumbing. They didn't know about internet privacy laws. They don't know about these things. So laws and rights have to be created, and they have to be protected for when things happen. The 10th Amendment are the rights reserved to the states. So the powers not given to people in the Constitution go to the states. Remember, state powers. We see here in the yellow that the national government or federal government, they make money, they create a post office, they declare war, they regulate immigration, they deal with treaties. But the state governments have their own powers. The state governments deal with driver's licensing, establishing public schools, creating local governments, such as like the mayor of Dunwoody. They deal with marriage and divorce and licensing options. They deal with adoption laws. They create police and fire departments. They issue hunting licenses. Those are things that the states do that the federal government doesn't do. They don't care about it. The state governments, they set up speed limits on roads that I never follow. So those are our Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments, the Bill of Rights. Spoiler alert, they're all on the test. Now we get to the fun amendments. Amendments 11 through 27, and yes, you need to know your Roman numerals, were passed from 1791 to 1993, and they came about as the nation needed to change. There's no way the founding Abbas could have written every single freedom and every single rule, so they had to create these amendments as things happened. Why are there only 17 amendments since 1791? Well, first of all, the Constitution kind of works. And also, it's really hard to make an amendment to the Constitution. Remember, 2/3 of all Congress have to vote yes, and then 3/4 the states have to vote yes. So, by the way, that's on the test, how to pass an amendment. And we know that an amendment is a change to the Constitution. That's also on the test. Amendment, change of the Constitution. The 12th Amendment creates the modern electoral college. We talked about this in our election unit. And so it's based on population. We know there are 538 votes in the electoral college, 270 to win. So it creates a modern electoral college process. That's what the 12th Amendment states. The 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments are considered the Civil War amendments. They were passed right after the Civil War. They were passed in 1865, 1868, and 1870. The Civil War was from 1861 to 1865. I don't care that you necessarily know the dates, but I'm just giving you a timeline so you understand things. The 13th Amendment was the first and only time that slavery is mentioned in the Constitution. The 13th Amendment bans slavery. It abolishes slavery. No slavery, so neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist in the United States. Abolishes slavery. Big deal. Now, just because the slaves were freed in 1865, it doesn't mean they have rights. In 1868, the 14th Amendment was passed. See that asterisk? We talked about that. We're going to talk about it right now, too. It says all persons born or naturalized in the United States shall be citizens. Now, because of that, that means that all 4 million slaves that are now free who were born in the United States are automatically citizens. It states that everyone and anyone who is born in the United States is a citizen. Remember the controversy, though? If illegal immigrants come into the United States and they have a child, should that child be a citizen? Because they're born in the United States. The 14th Amendment says they should. But that's a big question that we want to ask ourselves. Should we keep that amendment or should we change it? The 15th Amendment is really controversial, especially for women. In 1870, the 15th Amendment said that the rights of citizens to vote shall not be denied based on one's race, color, ethnicity, previous condition of servitude. So everyone has the right to vote regardless of race or ethnicity. However, it has nothing to do with women. So think about that. If you were a white woman who owned a slave in 1864, in 1865, your slave was freed. In 1868, that freed black now has citizenship. And now in 1870, that former slave, freed black, who is now a citizen, has the right to vote. So women were very disappointed to see people go from slaves, property, to now having the ability to vote in just a few short years. So this says no matter what your ethnicity is, you have the right to vote. Big deal there. I'm going to stop the first podcast there. The next one's going to go through the next few amendments. So, just letting you know, pretty much all of those are on the test. So far, I'd like to know all of them. All right. Hope you enjoyed it.